All right, I'll mute my mic and introduce. Hey everyone, we're watching more movies. Don't watch the news. Watch movies. I'm gonna stop saying that. But this movie we watched was not really depressing, but kind of relevant, even though it was really, really old. And we're gonna tell you about it. We watched The Matrix, and I am Smurf with Goose, Paul Off, and Woody.
Hi.
Mr. Plow.
Hello.
We have TK.
Yo.
And hey, it's Louie.
Hey now.
Hey Louie. Everyone, thanks for joining up. We watched The Matrix, and it was actually a pretty solid movie. Dabney.
We have our friend Goose
I did
as
that on
well
purpose.
sitting in.
Dabney is here, and but who's not here is Bloody. Maybe he'll jump in. He picked this movie, and
considering it's his movie,
you know, if he picked a bad movie and didn't show up, it would have mean one thing. But this was actually a good rewatch. The Matrix.
That'd be called
1999.
pulling a Sandy.
That'd be called a troll. Nah, Sandy showed up and dabbed a bit in the chat. When's the last time you guys have seen this movie? Do you watch it religiously? Anyone got to see it like within 2 years, or else they explode?
This is probably my second time seeing it since like 2001.
I would say I watch the trilogy at least 3 or 4 times a year. And
Nope.
since
Full trilogy.
dang.
The trilogy.
I
Fuck
showed
the
it to my
fourth.
kid a couple years back. That was the last time I watched it before this.
Okay. Yeah, I watched it originally. Probably had in 1999. Probably had a rewatch since then. But
wow.
I liked it, and I liked it again, and it makes me want to kind of watch the other two and kind of endure the fourth one. Wasn't there a fourth one? People just don't.
Yeah, there was.
Don't mention.
Oh boy.
But I heard the redemption was
I technically
Animatrix.
watched it, but I don't remember anything from
The
it.
Animatrix is actually surprising.
Animatrix was the redemption, so maybe you can power through the
But
bad.
we're only talking about the first Matrix, so you don't have to have seen them all to know what's going on.
Yeah, this one.
Yep.
This one was a revelation. I mean, I was talking to a buddy.
No,
with
that
the
was
Matrix.
like the second one.
Boo.
Oh, come on.
It's polarizing. It is polarizing. And I think because the first one was so good, anything after that's going to be polarizing.
I always considered it chapter 1 of a 3-part story, so I never got I like the first, but not the rest, because it's all one story. It's the beginning of the hero's journey, but that's getting off point into other movies.
I think I kind of recall like having after that first movie like different expectations about where it was going to go that totally did not go there. Like they took the shallow version of what a lot of my friends and I were imagining at the time the sequels were going to look like.
Did we know that there were going to be sequels at the time the movie came out?
Relatively quickly afterwards. Relatively quickly.
I mean, they didn't know because no one had any idea how well it was.
It felt like at the beginning
Well, I
of the
didn't know if
franchise.
I didn't know if they wrote it as like a three-parter, or if they wrote part 2 and 3 after the success of 1.
Right.
I've always suspected the latter. I don't.
2 and 3 were definitely written together. Like
2 and 3 were written
film
and shot
flashback.
together, and they came out fairly quickly. 2 and 3, but the first one was certainly.
Does anybody remember the video game tie-in that also
crap.
happened? That was
I
canon?
do, but here's the thing. The Matrix is a hell of a movie because it fucks with your head. I think we can all agree on that much, at least, right?
It does. Makes you question what you see and if you even trust the story you're looking at.
What's
what
real,
you mean?
what's not? Blue pill, red pill, pull.
Deadpool. Yeah.
Bad
That
touch.
certainly
Blue pool.
has fed a lot of people's, notion of simulation theory.
Oh God, yeah.
Boy.
For better or worse.
The Matrix, man.
Is it bad? I didn't know.
Obviously, red pilling has become part of the, popular vernacular.
Was that and that was because of that movie, correct?
Yeah, we got
That
to
is
wake you up,
correct.
bro.
Yes.
100%.
We're going to show you how it really
Yeah.
is.
Another thing, I would also contend the word woke derived from that movie, and I read articles disagreeing, but I think they're wrong.
That is
People-
correct.
I would disagree because
I
it
would-
came
That
from the black
term
community
existed
from like
well
the 70s.
before that. Yeah. Yes.
I feel it came in a popular vernacular much more so after the movies, and the
It
idea
could have
of
helped.
just-
It could have
You
helped
know, that's like
propel it.
that's like giving what was that show on Comedy Central credit for Yas Queen. I mean, the fact that
Good
it's
times.
the fact that something popular uses a notion that was part of a community's vernacular for a long time, I think.
We'll agree
I just
to.
think it's a bit of an issue.
This
Plus, they
movie
also
has
never
obviously.
never actually refer to it as being woke. So
This
No,
movie has
pretty much.
obviously
It's,
transcended a lot of things, and
Well,
let's just stick with Act 1 before we talk all about the goodness, because really, I forgot this movie started with a huge fighting action scene. I thought it started with the phone call and Neo's in the office taking directions, but we get to see
starts
some of the
with
Matrix
Trinity.
actions,
Yeah,
and I think
Trinity.
that's genius. Yeah, you get to see exactly what you're in for. Like, it started hot, like literally, she was hot, but
I will say that it was very, like looking back at it now, obviously knowing the story, like at the beginning was super confusing. Like it made no sense.
Mhm.
You know, like it was very kind of just all over the place.
these are
It didn't-
superheroes. Yeah.
It didn't, and maybe I'm just so used to movies nowadays, like leading you, like it just felt like it didn't do that at all.
This movie begs several rewatches, and I don't know how many
And
times
I
I've seen it,
noticed
but every
stuff
time I
again,
see it, I
like-
get more.
Yeah, and I noticed stuff again too, right? Like this is only the second time I've ever seen this movie. And so like I know this movie, obviously, right? So sorry I died. So it was just interesting to kind of see the stuff that I picked up on.
And there was a lot of terms that we still hear. I don't know if the term
Like woke.
agent and agentic have anything to do with each other, but it's making its rounds again. And but AI and just taking over, it was pretty.
I totally forgot it was AI that was the cause of all of that.
Mhm.
Like I totally forgot about that. And my kid was watching it. He looked at me. He's like, "When was this movie made?" I'm like, "1999."
So AI
like-
takes over, and apparently this machines versus humans, and Mr. Neo, who what's his real name? It's like
Thomas Anderson.
yes, Thomas
Mr.
Anderson.
Anderson.
So he just gets chosen. He kind of has a startling call and gets kidnapped, and people want him. He doesn't know why, and he finds out he's supposed to be, quote, the chosen one, and he wants something more in life. And just to cut to it, he takes the red pill, which means that he wants to know the truth, and he gets ripped out of his little human pod.
His shell of ignorance, his cocoon of.
Yeah, but it's a little gooey pod that they had him stored in. So that's how he woke up. That was
Well,
a cool
I mean,
scene.
There's a little bit more to it, right? So he's a, by day he's a programmer, right? And then at night he stays up hacking and breaking into systems,
Looking for
Listen,
Morpheus.
True.
looking for Morpheus, looking for Trinity, looking for more answers to why he feels like this.
There was a constant little thing in the back of his head. He was pining for something.
Yeah.
Trinity. So yeah, it's just very much his everyman character is a cubicle worker, unsatisfied with life, and he gets presented with the opportunity that many of us wished we could have. Would you like to know more? Would you like to see what's going on behind the scenes? Would you like to really see what life is about? Or would you rather stay safe, warm, and coddled in this pre-made existence where, your coffee's lukewarm and the receptionist winks at you on Tuesdays?
But the raves are fun, apparently.
They did look fun. Not as fun as on
Right.
Zion, though.
Sidetrack real quick. How much of a banger is this fucking soundtrack?
Oh,
Like,
man.
Yeah,
Just-
pretty good.
Dude. It's like
Are you talking about
great
the score
soundtrack.
or the soundtrack?
The
Both.
soundtrack? So no,
I
just
love
like,
the score. But okay.
Yeah.
I'm an
But the
aristocrat.
soundtrack was like it was on my rotation
I'm
in
an
my
old
car
school
for
guy.
probably
Yeah.
a good 5 years. Like
There's
it
a
was
lot of-
always one of the ones that was close.
The soundtrack for me, like, so in '99, right around the time like Napster and things like that were starting to take off, I was like, oh, this is a really great music I heard in here. So I started looking for like the songs that were in there, right? And so, you know, like "Club to Death" is one of the songs in there.
Rob Zombie.
Rob Zombie's in there.
Sabrina
Deftones?
Carpenter.
Nope. No Sabrina Carpenter, sir. No.
You imagine that
Scene, of course, which was the point I was going to make earlier with
soundtrack to my life.
Yeah. But yeah,
That's
dope soundtrack, dude.
yeah, very good point. And also early, we get to see what they do with payphones. I never knew that's what they were used for. They can make you teleport inside the little
Yeah.
mouthpiece. That is cool.
Yeah, but if you're teleporting like far away, it's 50 cents.
Oh, I mean, they gotta make money
charges
somehow.
still apply.
Here's a question I have. So in the movie, right, like it's found out right in the beginning scene that that she talks to him on a cell phone, but they need a hard line because they cut the hard line in the building. So they need a physical phone line, which is
To travel, okay.
Old
They
tech,
have
old tech alert, right?
Not just
Yeah.
any, that specific one that are designated for getting out of the Matrix.
Right,
Can't
but it
just
seems a
grab
lot of them are payphones, right? Like it seems like that's a pretty decent way out, and you can see it because one of them, the one that Trinity has to go to in the opening scene, is a payphone, and when she gets there, she's in a race against time to get into it before the agent drives a cement truck into the thing to destroy it.
It's
So
a garbage
why
truck,
wouldn't they
sir.
just, or garbage truck? Sorry, why wouldn't they
Thank you.
just like destroy all of the payphones? You know, in the hopes
did.
that.
Congratulations. Sorry.
What?
Right, but like, why were they still a thing if they're obviously like okay with just running them over? I don't know.
Well, it wasn't every payphone is a way out. It's just specific ones. I mean,
Right.
you're going to eradicate every phone inside the Matrix?
Why not?
The
I
Matrix?
mean, they
We just
could.
said it called
It's
the
a
Matrix.
smart construct.
You need to
but
think like a machine, TK.
The plural is matrices. Thank you.
Dama.
The name of the movie is said at 27 minutes and 40 seconds.
What's the name of this movie? Matrix?
The Dom
Like
Matrix.
leading up to Neo's, freeing scene, where all of the viruses and the coding algorithms, the things that they were using to track, all had some kind of physical representation. Like you had to interact with the fucking thing in some way to accept
Yeah.
the cookie. If you
Unless
will,
you...
right?
Well, yeah, you're right. Not getting ahead, but you're right. Yes.
By the way, Woody did get disconnected. He's fighting a tornado. Godspeed.
And
like,
winning.
like literally,
I
like
bet.
fist fighting a tornado right now.
Yeah.
He's got his shirt off and everything.
I mean,
Put his
that's
cowboy
normal
hat
for
on,
Woody.
his
Sounds way
boots.
over the rainbow.
Yeah, he's that guy with the
So,
American flag and the rainstorm out with his long hair. Like
You guys are
headbanging.
going to feel like assholes if he gets swept up in a tornado and the last thing you said was making jokes about him.
No, I won't. He'd love that.
No,
Yeah, he would
That's
love
what he
that.
would have wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, Woody said he would have wanted it that way. Don't
I
tell me
would've
he's a real
definitely
friend, my
not
friend
dead.
was.
Back to the movie.
I would have definitely taken the red pill. It would have felt weird to travel through phone lines, but I just imagine
Totally.
now when people see phone booths, they think it's magic, Like, what else are you going to think it does?
You'd have no way out of the Matrix now.
When he talks about taking
We
the
also just, by the way, talk, because we did mention the opening scene that bullet time just did not exist when this movie came out.
Right.
No, they
first
invented
time-
technology
The
for this
first
movie.
time, I mean, in 1999, the first time when she does that little jump up and it kind of freezes in time and the camera spins around.
And the bullets are just there, suspended.
Just, I mean, it melted everyone's fucking brain in the theater.
Mhm.
It was, I mean, this opening sequence, which took
Yeah.
a lot of time to shoot, it was really complex, was just it does establish from the get-go not just that this is going to be a cool movie, but this was breaking rules that we didn't even know existed.
Yeah, it was a milestone.
It was a
About
it was a
time
game
and
changer
place.
for special effects in movies. I mean, it changed things.
100%.
It was, and
The game,
not
it
to-
had been changed.
not to get it ahead, but it was one of the challenges, as someone mentioned with the sequels, which was that how do you break things that dramatically again? And
Right.
they never quite succeeded in doing that. But that right from the start, this movie does just visually just really.
It was stunning. I mean, they did pioneer in the later movies to try to catch up with that. That floating camera, like the virtualized camera in the scene, though, right?
They struggled a bit because the rendering wasn't good enough by the second movie to do fabric realistically still, and to make a digital avatar. So particularly if you watch it today, it's like, oh, that's a video game Neo who's fighting all of the agents. But they really did. They pushed the technology, but they did all this stuff that was still within the technology. So it still was, it's mostly photographic in that first film. The camera, they literally had a camera rig, I assume everyone's seen, where it's a big circle of cameras that are just flashing off at
the suspension in the middle,
separated by milliseconds. So it can show it as it goes around. I mean, just really incredibly sophisticated and inventive stuff, which of course then showed up in every TV commercial.
Yeah.
It was everywhere, and then of course it influenced video games. You had
Max Payne.
Max Payne. Thank you, Max Payne trying to knock it off.
Yeah, the bullet time.
His that game shtick.
So he took the red pill. Next thing he knows, he's in the real world, and it kind of sucks.
Can I just say something real quick about the red pill, blue pill thing? I found it interesting too, that like when Morpheus started explaining like the whole idea with the red pill and the blue pill, and he said, he's like, how you can dream a dream and you don't know if it's real or not. Like, how do you tell? I'm like, that seems like it's the plot of Inception. So I wonder if there was anybody that like if that inspired Inception at all. Because that was the whole thing with like, the top and everything in Inception. Like that was.
You have to believe and alter your surroundings.
I think it's hard to imagine that there were many high concept movies that came out after this that weren't influenced. It was
I guess we're probably right.
I think it was just hugely influential, although it's also hugely referential. The number of you can, and I think people you can do an extensive wiki about just all the references, all the inspirations of this film, visually, everything from anime to a lot of anime actually.
Anime mixed with film noir.
There are elements of it, I think, yeah.
And also the kind of the cyberpunk genre in general, like really brought that into the like modern mainstream. Computers hacking, slight sci-fi. Well, I guess in the Morpheus's ship, like Nebuchadnezzar's case, high sci-fi. They've got anti-grav on there. That's some pretty big shit.
Right. And the idea of being able to jack into the head was something. I mean, by then
Ghost in the Shell did it 2 years before, though. I mean, that was a pretty standard cyberpunk.
Yeah, just plug into your brain.
That's what I'm saying. I was going to say, you mentioned cyberpunk. Johnny Mnemonic had done that. That idea of the interfacing of the human brain and computer was not a new idea. Ghost in the Shell is I mean, anyone who hasn't seen it, you should definitely see it just to see how it influences this one. Yeah.
The anime.
Yeah, the anime.
Welcome back, Woody.
Not the movie. Not the live action. The anime film.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
It's garbage. It's not
so
good.
Catch me up. What did I miss? While
he just woke up in the Vatigu, and they start working on him and healing him up. And I like the comment. This kind of puts you in the perspective of how everything's being laid out. Neo, which I'm just going to call him Neo. That's his name the whole movie. He asked while they're working on him, "Am I okay? Why do my eyes hurt?" And Morpheus says it's the first time you've used them.
Because you've never used them before.
Yeah, you've never used them before. Thank you. Like, it's just, wild. Like, what would that do to you? Like, I thought I could walk. I thought I've lived a life, but you know, all my tolerance to hot sauce is fake. Stuff like that. Like, I no
Maybe
longer have
that's like
calluses
dying.
on my finger from when I played bass.
You think you're alive, and then you die, and you realize, no, I really am.
In Dog Star.
It's a dream of a dream.
You think
I
that's
noticed there were a lot of times where there were doubles of Keanu Reeves. When he got caught by the agents, they talked about it. You know, you're living a double life. But like even like when they would show Morpheus, it would always show him in both different in both of his sunglass reflections, right? So there would be two of Keanu Reeves.
Yeah,
the
that was a
entire
cool
time.
shot when they did that.
Yeah, and they did that quite a few times. And then when he was looking at the mirror for the first time before he touched it and got all like metallicized, there were two of him in that mirror shot as well because the mirror was broken in such a way.
Yeah, I think it
But it
represents
wasn't like his face split. It
his
was
life, but then also like the real, like you are the one.
right. Like, well, I think it just represented the two different. You know, it was like the real thing, and then like his, you know, like his second life character and his
Right.
actual self.
That's a good
Books
point.
can
I
and
don't
have
think
been
we
written
want
on
to
the
get into
philosophy and
thematic
symbolism
stuff
of
yet,
it.
but they've certainly talked about some of the I mean, one thing that is impressive about the film is its thematic richness for a science fiction action movie. Again, I don't know if we want to put that off till we've gone through the film.
Well, are you gonna? Well, I will mention how when they were in the Matrix, that had that green tint everywhere.
Yeah, the filter.
Yeah, the
You're in
green
the Matrix.
filter, and it
I
was
love
like,
that.
okay, this is
Right.
iconic. Like, this is, you know, you're in the Matrix.
Which, of course, is similar to the green on the text, the screen text. Yeah, it's visually just an amazing.
Cool fact: they call that text, what is it, sushi code, because the creator just took photos of Chinese noodles and like the writing on the side.
Well,
Kind of,
shit.
it kind of worked
And,
with them.
TIL.
TK, you were saying?
no, never mind. Go ahead.
Okay. So he's aware of what's going on, and double mind fuck on top of that, they're like, yeah, we yanked you out because guess what? You're the one. Yeah, you're like the next Jesus. You're the Messiah. You cool with that? Brah?
How you feel? And their mission is to what? Finally make it to what did he call it? It wasn't Zen. They're trying to Zion. They're trying to unlock Zion, which is like the true awakening. Like no more machine interference.
Well, they were already at Zion, right? Like they came from there because the two brothers that were on there, Hammer and
Tank and Dozer.
Tank and Dozer. Sorry.
Yeah, they
Well,
were
they-
bred in the
I don't know.
real world. They weren't.
Yeah,
idea is-
they were sons of Zion, right? Like so they were real people. They weren't Matrix people. So they've been, and then they also said that like every ship captain has the codes to the mainframe. So like that place exists. It's already there and accessible.
That was the.
Right.
It's not like they're
machine's
looking
motive.
for it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Where
what.
they come
that was-
from.
Yeah, it's where they want to. That's where the machines want to go.
Right.
And the machine city was named at 01. No, literally, that's in the Animatrix.
That's
Cool.
pretty
No, I
funny.
hadn't. I forgot about that. And then there was that great scene, really quick. I mean, we had the kung fu scene, right? We had the I know kung
Yeah.
fu, followed by the this guy's downloading everything. Look at his brain go, which is really funny considering he played in Johnny Mnemonic and had a really tiny chip in his brain before
That's
that.
right.
Just
He could
total
only
side
store
note.
like 5 megabytes or something.
That's
Yeah,
a lot.
it was like
Johnny
50
I
Mnemonic
can't
gigabytes,
remember
I
what
think
it was, but it was an amount that's kind of comically small
It was a training program for
these
Neo.
days for sure.
these
It was
days.
it was like an order of magnitude larger than most hard disks at the time of the making of the movie in like '94. But yeah. Followed by that one great scene with Cypher too. So we had the kung fu scene with Morpheus, and then followed by the blonde, redhead, brunette. I just look at the code and see him now. I don't even pay attention to it. I mean,
Yeah,
that
he just
whole-
looks
that
at the
whole
wall of
section was
code and
just
he
so
can
well
just
done.
read it. Mm-hmm.
Cypher, as
Do y'all
played by
remember what he
Johnny
was doing?
Pants, John Pantaleone.
Joe Pants.
I don't like that
So,
actor
yeah,
because
Joey
he's
Pants.
such a good bad character. You're such a good eel.
He was great as Ralph Ciparetti in
Yeah.
He plays a great
Wonder Man.
sleaze.
Yeah, he's a good sleaze.
Yeah,
Well, so Neo does start to so instead of like being slaves to the machine, they start to plug in willingly and download skills, and they get to get more skills and try to be better than the agents that are just shipping around skills in the Matrix. And I think I'm hitting on some current events, but
well, that was one of the big things that they really kind of leaned into, though, was that like free your mind, right? Like if you think that you're breathing air in the Matrix, you're already way deeper in it than you need to be.
You think this is air that you're breathing?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You're capable of superhuman things because you're actually in a game. You're in
yeah,
a
you think I
environment.
won because I'm faster? Like, what is faster? Like, there are ways, and you know it. Like, just there are no constraints if you don't believe in them. That's the
Morpheus
secret.
is trying to wake him up to the idea that, like, essentially this is a lucid dream. Once you realize that, then you come into your power because you realize I'm the one that's controlling this dream.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then you can fly.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
which was just weird at the end.
Like,
It was just so weird at the end that he
Nightmare
just
on
was flying. Come on.
And
He's
then we
waking
had,
people up just for his existence.
right? And then we had the Cypher moment where he's like, "Man, I wish I could just go back in. This sucks, right?" Kind of.
Man, oh man, why didn't I take the blue pill? Yep.
You know.
I love his line where he's like, I'm sorry, he wants to be reinstated. He's like, I want to be rich and someone important, like an actor.
Like an actor.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, that's just Joey Pants winking at you right there.
What a miserable way to live. Like, to think about life.
Yeah.
I guess if you don't know any better, right? Like, he's making sure.
Yeah, he was
going to
wake up oblivious and live that life.
It's weak and cynical.
Well, I mean, it's a notion that plenty of people deal with all the time. Is, do I want to really know what's going on, or do I want to? Is it better to kind
Do I
of
want to enjoy my steak?
blissful in ignorance? Don't we
Ignorance
all
truly is bliss.
choose a certain amount of ignorance just to keep ourselves sane.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, you can
That's
only
the
read so many
choice.
headlines before you have to put it down,
Yeah.
or you'll go nuts.
Such
The
an excellent
atrocities.
underlying point to that, though, too. It's
Yeah.
So good.
And you also got to
That was some
realize
great storytelling.
order and
Yeah, I mean,
chaos
I think
exist at
he's-
the same time. That's how you take it in.
I think it's a it's actually a understandable perspective, is him wanting to be back in the Matrix. I mean,
Blood Panther.
their lives are not fun, being,
Blood Panther has entered the party, and he's the one that actually.
I
How
am
you doing
so
there?
Breathing, Eddie? Jesus.
yeah.
You okay
I
there,
am
buddy?
so. Oh, because I ran around the whole fucking house because I was watching basketball and I totally forgot.
He tells on himself.
I did, yeah.
How big is your house that you're that out of breath?
We are live now.
Okay.
It's a
well,
trailer.
We're live.
Yeah, make sure your mic is being shared, Bloody.
Yeah.
Get
Blood
correct.
Panther's the one that
You
actually
can meet us
picked
in Act
this
2.
movie.
I ran
So,
upstairs.
running across
really,
Versailles.
I ran upstairs to see what time it was, and then I noticed I had to run all the way down to the basement to get my shit.
Well, downstairs is usually easier.
You had to go to the
Yeah.
East Wing.
Yeah, I
to,
should take an
I
elevator.
did, and then I had to run back upstairs. So
And then there's the,
I've done 5 flights of stairs in
Jesus.
a 30-second
then you
period.
needed to get your caviar snacks out of the kitchen in the
okay.
West Wing.
So right now we're at the point where we're talking about where Neo has woken up and is aware that he's in the Matrix. Let's keep it going.
Okay.
Yeah, you're up.
Go.
He's aware
He
he's
just
in the
fought
Matrix.
Morpheus. He's kind of having a
Morpheus
powwow
told him
with Cypher.
you're the
and-
one.
And then he starts getting uploaded with all the information, yeah. And he tells him I know Kung Fu, the iconic line.
Such a good.
And then when Morpheus goes, well then show me. And starts out, I mean, what I love about the movie is not a single scene in the whole fucking movie is wasted. If you ever
That's
notice
tight.
that. Not a
it's
single
tight.
scene.
Yeah, they explain a lot of the Matrix just by showing you and putting Neo through tests. But Morpheus really tested him. Like, it seems like he would wait a few days before fighting people like that, but he really believes that Neo is the one, and he's like Louis said, he's trying to bring it out of him.
Well, it was
and
more
they-
of that hero trope where the hero had to believe in himself, you know?
Yeah, and the Oracle knew that, and he had to realize it for himself.
Yeah, Oracle
He
never.
told you the
Let's
one.
get to that, because after he kind of downloads stuff and he trains, they have to take him to the Oracle. And Bloody, what is you want to say what the Oracle is supposed to do, and
It's all you.
why they want to go there?
Well, the Oracle is supposed to go there like an Oracle is and just tell you. You know, everybody says like
As an
you're
Oracle
supposed
does.
to hear where you know, it tells you everything. Oracle in my mind is like a fortune cookie. You know, it
Tells you what you need to hear.
Fortune
rather
teller cookie.
But
It
it
makes me
you
think
want.
of more like the Oracle of Delphi, though, right? Like that kind of. It's meant to imply some kind of divine intuition that is involved.
Oh, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're similar to
Oracle knows
prophets.
all, they say.
And oracles, of course, often speak,
Speaking
In
of
riddles,
in stories
rhymes,
speak in
yeah.
riddles or in.
Oh, she's spoken a riddle when we get to it.
ways.
I have something to say about that.
there is no spoon.
There is no spoon.
That's the most important. I think the
Only
child with the spoon did more to awaken Neo than the Oracle, because
Yeah.
But
she says, what did she say?
She put the child there.
The child
It
is there
took
bending
me
spoons
years
with her
to wrap
mind.
my head around that.
Yeah,
I finally got it, but for a while I was like, oh, I get it. It's all an illusion.
yeah, and
Well,
well, the child
thing that's really
says,
going to cook your noodle is if did you know if you were going to knock over that vase if I hadn't said something?
Oh.
yeah, a
She
lot
hands
of
him a cookie.
determinism.
You know, a machine handing you a cookie.
Determinism versus free will.
Yeah,
You know, do you actually have a choice, or do you just think that you have a choice and everything's already laid out? Because doesn't she say, no one can understand, or no one can see past the choices that they don't understand?
but there
Yeah,
is no spoon.
I know.
You know, I think he
Good
started to
shit.
freak that kid out when he started to bend the spoon first try. But he got interrupted, you know, before
Yeah,
he could actually do it.
but it showed he had it.
But yeah,
within.
there is no
Yeah.
there is no spoon. There is only, you know, you bend yourself or something. And
Try to remember, there is no spoon. That's not how he said it.
Only
Ah,
Well,
but she-
Gandhi.
But
Must have
Oracle
been
tells
yourself.
him, like, you're not the one. You know, you're wanting something. So
She implies.
yeah,
never
she
outright
implies.
says
So that, but he didn't follow up with, what do I need to be the one? Like, because she just said you're not the one now, but she didn't really say you are the one. You're going to be the one if this happens. If that happens, she was just like, this man in front of me is not the one, which can mean, you know, a lot. So
She said something to the effect of, like, but you already know the answer, and he's like, I'm not the one. But he's the one that
And
actually
she
said
says,
it.
Sorry, kid.
And
I just don't see
yes.
it
yeah,
She keeps it going, but ultimately
She
he
never
was the one that was like,
corrected.
I'm not it. I'm not the one. Right. And he needed to see for himself, you know?
yet. And then betrayal. Dun dun dun.
There was a lot of green. Did they talk about that at all? I know you were talking about some of that stuff, Dabney. But like, there was Morpheus wore a green tie to the Oracle. The Oracle had a green dress on. Like, the entire kitchen was like colors of green.
yeah.
There were green
Anytime they were
counters,
in the
green
Matrix,
walls.
there was a green filter. The
Yeah,
walls
Oh, I
were
didn't
green
even think of
tint.
that. Right, but it was like, but that was just like the stark green, and like, because that wasn't the case everywhere else. It was just like with them.
It's a
I know,
current
like the
theme,
green
like
is
later in the
Matrix.
movies, where like everything is kind, you know. I know what you mean, though.
Yeah.
And maybe there is more meaning to it, because maybe it was more green because it was the home of the Oracle, and that's, you know, the green represents the machine. Spoiler alert: the Oracle is a program.
Not just a program, one of the core programs of the system,
Yeah.
which is something they reveal in the later movies, right?
Yeah, I think her
Father
name
of
used to be Gemini, and then the
Agent
AI
Smith.
just dead named that and became something of its own.
Smith is Grok. It's gonna look like Elon one day. He's taking shit over, replicating. But let's not get too scary. So what do you do when everybody's like, you're the one, you're the one, you're the one, and then, no, you're not. Oh,
Why did
okay.
Morpheus's sunglasses never take off, like as a fashion choice?
Because it's the Spectre. Everybody else looks like an asshole in them.
They did
You would
actually.
have thought that someone would have made them like to try to
They
sell them.
probably
They did.
fell off a lot.
Well, in the end scene, he's getting.
You can get them actually similar.
They totally
ones,
did.
Yeah.
Do you want a
It
pair?
was
Is that what you-
I
the
kinda
flip
do.
phones and the sunglasses and even like the shiny leather coats. They really marketed the Matrix in the background, which was kind of
Yeah, were those cell phones ever made as like commercially
I
available?
think they took off, like the ones that pop down.
No.
Okay.
The
They
flip
they
phones.
said they were going to release that one, and they never released exactly that. I think they couldn't get it to work consistently.
Like the
So they
spring
came out-
action.
Yeah, I mean,
It worked in the
Nokia
movie.
Nokia came out with
Oh,
a
it did?
very expensive slide bottom one, but you had to manually slide it. It didn't pop down.
I gotcha.
They had this really cool. Shortly after that, Nokia came out with this silver phone that had a slide bottom. It was pretty slick, but no, not that. That specific phone was never actually produced, as far as I know, at least. Certainly not in the U.S.
There
also-
were some pretty close knockoffs, so they chased it. I guess Woody just lost his power.
Payphones never existed either, kids.
So where were we at? What part of the story?
Oracle.
The Oracle
Finished
The Oracle.
and the Cypher's betrayal, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Cypher is a
screws
bitch.
him over. People die. Morpheus
Yeah,
gets
brutal.
captured, and Neo is like, you know what? I'm not the one, but I'm gonna go get him. I'm gonna go
But
try
the
and get
Oracle
him.
had prompted him. That was where he really got the idea. Was like Morpheus is important to the cause. You know that, right? She says,
Yeah.
looking at him very specifically.
Right.
He understood that and committed a selfless act, and so came the realization eventually.
Right. Well, because
He
if
is the
he
one.
wasn't the
Mutual
one,
insurance.
then Morpheus is that more essential.
I'll do my best.
Or that's
With
it.
more,
Exactly.
It's mutual.
Well,
Exactly.
what I like about the betrayal part of it all is when he's sitting in the restaurant and he's taking a bite of the steak, and it always stuck with me. He's like, I know this steak doesn't taste like this. I know
Doesn't
this is what
Yeah.
exist.
This isn't
I
real,
know
yeah.
we added this.
My
flavor
brain tells me it's
to-
juicy. Hmm.
Right.
Yeah. And that's
I
what
love that
always stuck
scene.
with me.
Yeah, me too. And
Well, I mean, isn't it like that in a dream? Like, you know, I'm sure you guys have felt pain in a dream. Right? You know,
Well,
you
this is a
believe it-
good time to
that is
bring
your
up-
reality at the moment.
who's the philosopher who said we could just be heads in vats? Hume?
Oh, the
Rush
Brennan
Limbaugh.
jar.
Was it Hume? Like Hume's pretty depressing. It could be him.
I think
H-U-M-E.
so. Hold on. Let me look this shit up because I feel
But
like
yeah,
I'm
like
familiar
there's
with
no
the
way
theory,
you
but
can
not the name.
prove that we're not just heads in jars of vats and all of our senses are being stimulated by a program or something else.
Like, yeah.
Like prove it right
There's
now.
a
I dare
famous-
you.
What was the famous book on that? Simulation, simulacra, something like
Well,
that?
actually, they had to read the book
Jim
in order to
Lemonade
act in the movie. That's the twins that produced the movie and directed it. They were like, you have to read simulacra and simulation and other evolutionary psychology works to be in this movie.
That book popped up in Neo's apartment.
Mhm.
But yeah, yep.
Because what did Plow say? What was he doing, Plow? What was this like underhanded black market business?
He was like computer
He
shit.
was selling something.
he was selling cracked programs and stuff and like keys to hack into places. He was kind of selling viruses, that sort of thing.
Here, this will get you into Pornhub.
And he
Premium.
pulled it out of the nihilism chapter of that book, just so you know. And his apartment was 101, which is an Orwellian reference. And his passport expired on September 11th, and this movie came out in 1999.
99, 2 years before the September 11th that changed everything. Yeah.
It was truly a different world back then.
You
And
know,
also-
I used to. Go ahead.
I was just saying, also, let us remember, this is 1999. If anybody's listening to this, you're younger or whatever, but 1999, the internet was still new. Some of us hadn't even been on it yet. And we all damn sure knew the sound of AOL loading up, that god-awful screech. So the internet was new, and this was like, whoa! You know? Like,
My phone can do
Bill and
that.
Ted, whoa. Like a Joey Lawrence, whoa!
Internet had
Well,
to
I
be
used
over
to-
dial-up phones, and That's what helped. That's the only thing we knew. So people traveled through phone wires in this movie.
Yeah,
The screeching was, we were slaying demons and ritually sacrificing them to exchange information from vast distances away, and you could hear their screams digitally whenever you go listen to the old.
That's what we believed back then because we didn't know any better.
Lit the magic smoke out of chips. And I also want to point out there was that one line that also stuck with me from the fight scene or whatever, where Morpheus is describing the world before its fall, and he's like, "The late 20th century, the height of mankind." You know, I really thought that was hilarious in 1999, and I don't think it's so funny these days.
A little bit too real, huh?
Oh shit! Close to home.
Are we peaking? Have we peaked? Because it seems like we're on a downslope.
According to Portlandia, everything was perfect before 9/11.
1999 was considered the last great year of movies.
Prince wrote a song about it. You know it's true.
I don't know if it was the last great. It was certainly
Purple
one
Rain?
of the great years.
Absolute
a
banger.
lot of really good movies came out that year.
1999, 1984.
Those are big movies for pop culture movies.
Speaking of Will Smith, he was supposed to be Neo. He turned it down.
He turned it down.
And he also covered 1999, kind of. But that was my segue. And who else? Not Tom Cruise, but there was a few other actors. Brad Pitt was going to be. I think Brad Pitt would have changed
this entire movie if Will Smith had been Neo.
Yeah,
because Neo's supposed to be dumb, like dumb Keanu. Sorry, Keanu. You know what you are.
I really like him.
He's
for
not
his
a
role.
great actor.
But he's typecasted, and
he's a great guy, but he's not a great actor.
Yeah, typecasted.
But don't you feel that he fit this role really well?
I do, but like
he's supposed to be dumb.
I always see stuff on like the little memes that are like, oh, this man, it's like him like eating a burger in a fast food restaurant. It's like this man has never won any awards. Be like, why do you think that is? It's like because he's not a good actor.
But he's going to get a lifetime achievement.
Yeah, for sure.
You never know. I don't think he's a great
Emmy
actor.
or like an Academy Award or
You don't know that.
He's
I
done
do.
some good performances. I don't
I'll
think
bet you
he
on it.
ever will, just because I think it's difficult for people not to see him as Keanu Reeves. But he has done some. Actually, if you go through his whole resume, you'll find there's some actually good performances in there.
I mean,
and fairly diverse, which is not to say I think he's a great actor. I don't, but I think.
But he's done well. Now he's John Wick. He's another whole franchise.
Better than we sometimes. It's when he did. I can't remember which movie. He did one movie, and a critic said his acting ranges from Bill to Ted.
Was that for Dracula?
And that was funny. And I think that was around the time he did Parenthood.
I thought he was really great in that. To be honest with you, he was a goofball, but he was perfect in that role as that big older brother type.
He's been really good in it. I just saw him in a movie. He played an angel. He's actually quite good in it. He's
the new one.
He did a movie. He played himself. He's really funny. And so I mean, I think he does some good work. But having said that, I think Will Smith in the role. Well, Will Smith actually pointed out. He said, "Look, if I had played Neo, they probably wouldn't have gone with
Lawrence Fishburne.
With Lawrence Fishburne. Thank you. With Lawrence Fishburne as Morpheus, and Lawrence Fishburne fucking kills it. So
he made that movie for sure.
Yeah,
so,
he loves talking about that role.
So Will Smith, he regrets not having taken it.
Really? Nobody.
What's that?
What'd you say?
No, ignore me. Go ahead.
Everybody's talking at the same time.
But
not even Woody.
He does have a good point that it's worth it to have Fishburne in the role.
He's one of my favorite actors, Fishburne, since Boys in the Hood, when he went by Lawrence or he went by Larry Fishburne.
Oh yeah. So Bloody, would you like to take us from here?
Yes.
Where
I had the Boys in the Hood poster on the wall. Yeah, we should keep him.
Morpheus gets captured.
Oh, and he gets all drugged up, so they can't. They have no idea how to find him.
Yeah, they're trying to break his mind.
Yeah, they're trying to break his mind. Yeah, so when he gets captured, that is like a deep part of the movie, because like you start thinking, well, when I was 14, I remember seeing this, and I'm like, oh, is the bad guys really good? Is the bad guys the Matrix, really gonna win here? And you start seeing right then and there that even though Neo's like, I don't believe I'm the one at all, but I gotta try because this is my mess. You know, he believed in me, I gotta get him because he's so crucial to everything. And that's when he starts becoming the actual one.
I get goosebumps just thinking about it. I can hear the music in my head.
Oh my gosh.
I thought you meant the score.
What type of
Yeah,
guns
in your
do
head.
you want?
He
What
believes.
type of guns do you want? All of them.
I will
And then it goes
construct
on-
them.
Some of the most amazing action scenes go on for 15, 20 minutes. Just amazing shit.
When they
Um,
enter that building, like Neo and Trinity, and they have that big fight in the lobby, I heard that took like 11 days to film. There was no CGI, and all the destruction was real. So
Dabney.
Yep.
Dabney, how do you think they did that? A rotating set? Like,
No, they were on. It was all wire work.
oh, wow.
So
Tons of wire work.
what they did, the other thing that they did that was kind of brilliant and again new when they did it was they went to China and they hired a bunch of the wuxi, kung fu film people, and they hired a fight choreographer who did the wuxi.
Dedication.
Does everyone know what
They were like a
like,
fight team, weren't they?
they were a team. Yes, I believe so. And so they brought them in, and they were very familiar with the wire work, and so they really brought the wire work to the Western filmmaking. You start seeing it, in all sorts of films. You see it in everything from, what was it like, Charlie's Angels and.
About
Smash
Schmidt's
Mouth videos. I mean, you start seeing it everywhere. This wire work, and it really came from them, from their familiarity, their deep familiarity and love with Asian
With
cinema.
the stunt teams. Yeah, well, because they were all stunt teams. Those are demanding stunts, even on wires like that. Those things, the wires are pretty limited in mobility. It's a lot more of like they can pull you up and down and reduce the amount of weight you have on your system, so you can kind of move more.
Right.
But it's still very guided by, aside from the opposing gravity force, guided by your body, and so
Yeah,
it can be really exhausting to work on.
The rigs at the time were also, I mean, the rigs now are so much more complex, and the good news is I believe it was at the point where they could digitally remove the wires, so you could do a lot more of that, and that's how you can do those extreme slow motion where you don't notice the wires because they could digitally remove them. But yeah, it just incredible stuff. And so when they're doing those flips, it's just you just have to have the harness mounted, sideways instead of like, so they can do those things. But that was just all really complex wire work. There were, to my knowledge, and I could be wrong, there were no rotating sets.
Side note: go and watch the making of if you get a chance. It's really worthwhile spending time watching it. It's really fucking cool.
After the lobby scene, I like that they go in the elevator. They just show a huge, wide shot of the damage of the lobby.
Beautiful.
And the pillar breaking apart.
The cinematography. Oh, so good.
To the ceiling, to the roof where they have the bullet dodging scene with the agent.
Yep.
Yeah, the most famous scene of the movie.
Neo does something that only agents have been able to do. No humans have been able to do it. He was actually able to dodge bullets. Calling back to what Morpheus said to him, what do you say? I can dodge bullets?
Says,
I'm saying, Neo, one day you won't have to.
Right.
Exactly, yeah.
But he's becoming like the agents.
Or
He's that tapped in.
one of my favorite lines in the movie is from Trinity. How did you do that?
How they do that?
And you're like sitting there like, holy shit, how he did it.
It's to remind you that is a special thing. Again, tight dialogue and filming.
He is the
Exactly.
one. Is he the one?
Yeah.
He is the one.
The Oracle told her that she's going to be in love with the one, right? That's what she was so unsure of until it happened.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the big the climax twist, right? Like that
Me
was the
too,
big
Daddy.
thing
Me
that
too.
was-
Yeah.
It gets a little corny with that segment. By the
Well,
way,
they kept it tight.
can
tight. No, they kept it barely mentioned and just used as a device.
There was a wonderful interview where, if you've ever seen Keanu Reeves go on the circuit to try to sell one of his movies, he's not great at it.
I've seen him on Between Two Ferns.
He was being interviewed on, I think it was Good Morning America, and the guy says to him, he's doing the shtick. It may have been for one of the sequels. He's like, "What's The Matrix really about? What is all this about?" And Keanu is just like, well, I mean, it's really about love. And the guy goes, "Yeah, but also robots and computers and all that, and action and blowing up stuff too." And Keanu's like, "Yeah, sure." "Oh yeah, that's what you wanted. Yeah, yes, that's what it's about." Sure.
But he wasn't wrong. I mean, at heart, you could say this is a love story. Very much so.
I think that's certainly the emotional thing that he connected to that allowed him to do the role. When you ask an actor what a movie's about, it's about their role and their motivation, which is what it should be. Of course, that's they have a narrow focus on the film.
Do they?
He wasn't. Oh yeah.
Oh.
I mean, all 4 films, they really do go back and make it about Neo and his love for Trinity. Like, that is a core drive of that particular character.
Yes, it's his redeeming quality, you could say, and it definitely comes into play in future movies where he makes choices based on love rather than what's right or rational.
Yeah. So speaking of not right or rational, going after fucking Morpheus, who is in the hands of the Matrix, of all these agents, right? After the bullet dodging scene, we get to, where they what is it? They take the agents out. They manage to shoot them. The bodies revert back to the original things, and they get the chance to get to Morpheus. And I guess Trinity comes in with a helicopter at this point.
A gunship.
Yep.
Wasn't that the...
Yeah,
She downloaded
he
the
just
Apache
unloads like
17.
300 billion shots, and not a single one hits Morpheus.
Well,
I noticed that, but he's the one. He's
the
if he
one.
can stop bullets, why can't he make them swerve?
Morpheus is the 2.
Again, genius fucking sequence with the shell casings.
Yeah.
Fucking
water
super
on the
slow-mo.
floor,
The glass.
That run, he's breaking the handcuffs and that run he does.
Right.
Oh
And
my
then
god!
The explosion with the glass.
The build up with attention to him hitting the agents actually, right? Because again, too, he just dodged a bunch of bullets and then he fucking hits the agents back. So it's not just a defensive thing. He's really, it's showing that he's capable.
Yeah,
It was just magnanimous.
fantastic.
So it comes, the movie finally, getting to the end of it, everybody makes it out of the Matrix except for Neo, and it's Neo versus Smith. Keep in mind, Morpheus told him, no one has ever gone against an agent and won. Everyone who has tried has died. And it's come down to Neo and Smith. Does Neo run or does he face Smith?
And we find out that he says enough's enough.
Yeah, he sure does.
And then gets his ass shot and killed. Because we can't forget the hero in this tragedy does die.
He had to become Jesus.
You got to resurrect, yeah,
Because he has to be right. He has to be resurrected.
reborn.
Because
like
his
to know.
flesh in the Matrix isn't real, which is something you kind of forget when you're inhabiting the body.
What's
I would
that,
like
Bloody?
to know how long he was dead. Like, if they did, because a lot of people are like, yeah, this is Jesus and everything. Was he dead for, let's say, 3 minutes?
days?
To
It was
reference
like,
the
it was
3
like 3
days.
minutes
Oh, in
tops. It was like the kind
time,
of...
You mean?
Yeah, you know what I mean.
How long was Jesus in the cave?
To see 3 days.
3 days.
Was it? Okay.
So it might have been 3 minutes if you want to keep the
they
thing
do
going.
a lot of Christ analogy, as well as other religions. Too,
Yeah,
though.
he's supposed to be
A lot
Jesus.
of
Yeah,
Eastern stuff, but yeah.
because
He's definitely
Tom,
Jesus.
what's his name? Thomas. What's his name? Thomas Anderson. So there's something in
Anderson.
in the Bible where there's something called a doubting Thomas, and you doubt that you are. That he
Yes,
is.
and Anderson translates into Son of Man.
Yeah, that's a heavy.
I read that from reading Matrix material.
Yeah, it's a heavy link. So there's theories
there's
out
a
there.
lot of
Initials are
stuff about
TA,
that.
which is the same as a teaching assistant. So think about that.
I know Lawrence
Kicks an ass.
Fishburne loves that theory. He always likes to tell people about how it could be Jesus and this Trinity, the Holy Trinity. And I'm sure Morpheus
He would be
something.
what? He would be Moses, or would he be an apostle? He's kind of both. He's a little bit of the
Morpheus?
prophet. I don't know.
Well, Morpheus is, what's he?
The shepherd.
Sleep, right? I mean, he's
Yes.
That goes to Greek mythology, right?
Right. Yes. The movies are just rife with symbolism and meaning. I mean, we could talk till Easter about the symbolism and meaning in this movie.
Yeah, and all the fan
Symbology
theories.
in this movie was
Till
crazy.
Till Easter, the day of the resurrection.
He caught it. See? We like to educate here on the podcast. Or I don't even know if this is a podcast.
Like TAs.
One thing that's not a theory is Mouse.
No, I got it.
Not too much, too soon.
One thing that can be proven and not a fan theory is Mouse. You know the character Mouse. He was
Yeah.
the original AI Gooner. Like he's like, it's just pleasure, man. Like I made that girl in the red dress. By the way, he didn't. That's AI slop. He had a centerfold of the girl in the red dress that he made in the game, so he didn't design her.
I mean, it's a bit spot on, isn't it? Like, he would be the
He can do
gooner. Like,
anything
he
in
is
the
a gooner.
Matrix, man. You want to come to my room? Oh, Mouse.
All right, so Neo and Agent Smith fight. Neo wins, but Smith can replicate. And as we said, Neo dies and gets resurrected and realizes, hey, I'm shiny digital Jesus. Watch out.
Shiny digital.
Yeah, if I believe it didn't happen, then it didn't happen. Like bullets in my body. What does that mean? That's not death. Like, you don't define that for me.
Yeah, I am reality. And he, well, let's talk about this. What happens next? He beats Smith. Smith is standing there. Neo runs and jumps into him. And, like, through the inside out, like, explodes him in white light.
Right.
Which,
Without his
so what
consent.
happened there?
Yeah, without his consent.
Because it goes on, the story plays on in other movies about how they touched. Like, what do you think was happening when
I
Neo
think he
jumped into
jumped
Smith?
in. So you know how Smith can kind of teleport in and out of people. So anyone on the street is his eyes, and he can become them. I think he jumped in and he actually hurt Agent Smith instead of just his host. So I think he was just kind of breaking his connection for real. And
I always thought of it as
code.
he was getting into the code
in the best way to the extent you can destroy something that's made of code. Which, you know, when he shows up in the sequel, when he's like, well, I had to reassemble myself, but hey, the good news is it gave me new powers.
And he was unplugged, which showed that he was a rogue agent and no longer connected to the Matrix and his purposes.
Well, in the
serving his
sequels,
own.
he was he became someone in the real world.
The idea was that basically some of his code got mixed with some of the One's code from Neo because Neo flew into him to destroy him during that segment, right?
Fluids
the
were
idea
exchanged.
was that, like, you know, viruses are pieces of code, not full code, right?
I mean, the idea is
and humans are a
they
virus.
killed the bad guy and they had to retcon it because he was very popular.
Were we talking? Oh no,
like
never
how
mind.
they spun off Darth Vader, and it's like, no, he's not dead. He just got spun off. He's fine.
Or Emperor Palpatine. So, Bloody, you were about to say something about your thoughts on that piece of it too. Would you like to step back up?
What happened when Neo jumped into Agent Smith?
Sorry. I mean, I think you guys are going, like, in the movie, since the movie was all based around code, what he was doing, he was inserting himself into the code, and he was rewriting the code so it would, you know, it would stop. So I mean, that's like the nerdy hero's way of, you know, saving the day, is that he was going in and fixing the bug.
I fixed the code.
Smith just said before this that humans are a virus, so he was just virusizing his insides. I don't think he was fixing anything.
Remember when Neo called Smith AI slop?
As someone who started falling in love with technology because of this movie, I really resonated with that scene because it was just like he came in and he coded Agent Smith out, you know?
He outcoded the bum.
Yes, he's a coder in his Matrix life. You know, living in the Matrix and living with just the guise of reality and living with machines, it wouldn't be so bad if there was checks and balances and actual transparency.
More girls in red dresses.
Do you mean accountability? Do you wish for a world with accountability?
I'm thinking accountability and also honest eyes everywhere. So, I don't know. It could just
and
be...
girls in red dresses?
We have those.
And Neo wins, and
calm down there, bloody.
The movie is almost at its end. Neo wins.
I mean,
he jumps
kind of... When I first saw the movie, I did have a sense of to be continued because they haven't reached Elysian Fields yet. You know, they haven't gotten to their golden city. Their, what's it called? The
Zion.
Yeah, Zion. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Delgado.
The raves are great. The dreadlocks flow free.
For 100 years, we have withstood the machines.
And everything tastes like chicken.
Oh man, I'll tell you what, that was the greatest rave ever.
It was such a good rave.
You know, it's interesting. So the movie ends, of course, with this promise of I'm going to disassemble the Matrix and set everyone free.
He's talking on the phone in a payphone or phone booth to the machines. We're assuming. Yes.
Yeah.
And he goes on the spiel about what he's going to do to them.
But you know what? If they weren't ever going to make another movie, that would have been a great way to end.
It was. It was actually.
Agreed.
It was a solid ending that did not require it left open for a sequel, but did not require one.
And what a banger of a closing tune with fucking Rage Against the Machine with that particular song. Just that goddamn song.
That fit in perfectly.
That does work nice.
For me, the cherry on the Sunday was he's like, I'm going to show them what we can really do, and then he flies, and it reminded me of the actual Superman movie from the '70s where it was "You will believe a man can fly," and just that idea of I'm going to wake people up just by doing what I do.
Right.
And that would certainly catch your attention if you saw someone flying. I think.
Now, I will say, I remember a guy making a very compelling argument to me about the sequels. He said, he promises he's going to free everybody, and he does not. So the sequels really don't pay off on that promise from the first movie.
Everybody had the choice to be freed that wanted to, though. If they weren't freed, it was by their choice. They chose the Matrix.
I think it was meant to be kind of a Greek tragedy in that sense, right? Like, there was never going to be a satisfying ending to that in the particular way that they wrote the scenario, right? Like, the world building they did meant no one's going to be happy with the ending.
Well, normally we open up with this, but this is a good enough place at the ending. Bloody, you chose this movie. We all loved it. We've seen it before. But why did you choose The Matrix?
So, what I was excited for when I found out that TK, his son, watched it for the first time today, he was the same age as I was when I first saw this movie. And this movie changed, honestly, everything about my life. From seeing that movie, I knew I wanted to do something in technology in my life. I wanted to be a programmer. I wanted to do all that, and I'm literally living that life right now.
And
because of that movie. And
so this movie literally changed your life.
It changed my life. It was such a movie nowadays. Like think of the movie 1984.
I'd rather not.
And how it was or the book, how impact it had on society at the time. This is that movie for me. And when I watched it for the first time, not only you guys say Keanu Reeves is not a good actor, I think he is the best actor. He just opened up my eyes. The way everything flowed in that movie for a 14-year-old who has all this creativity and all this imagination in the world, and to see all these things, it made me want to do everything I could on computers.
And you work in computers now for a living, right?
Yes, and I do, and I work on computers now.
Do you love what you do?
I do love what I do.
So this movie helped you realize what your dreams are, and they came true.
Yeah, and
Thanks,
AI
Johnny
to do
Pants.
us all.
Joey Pants.
I'm
You know
working
he
on it
is.
yet. Well,
You know
only
he is.
if you did not own a porn shop. If you owned a porn shop, you're free.
What if you just used to hang out there a lot?
Nope.
I
You're
bought
dead.
What
cigarettes
if you had
there.
a buddy? What if you would go there to meet a buddy?
Dead.
The buddy booth.
What if you were there to report everybody in the porn
He
shop?
knows.
Dead. Straight dead.
So,
Sucks
rather
to be all
than
you.
continuing the bit, were there any other things you guys wanted to say to close out for each of your individual feelings?
I think if you tried to run off a wall and people were shooting at you, you'd be dead. Also,
I mean,
you know,
I have
yeah. Go off of that. That'd be.
Well,
You're up.
I was just gonna say, I mean, you know, to what Goose was saying, I have lots of, thoughts on about this movie. I mean, in terms of, again, what was, I think, really cool about it is it was really rich thematically. It kind of laid this breadcrumb trail for a lot of people to explore anime and to be curious about, you know, Eastern cultures that are kind of referenced in some of the, you know, because yes, there's a lot of Jesus stuff, but there's also, you know, the whole there is no spoon stuff.
A lot of reincarnation, the Maya of the world, lots of that sort of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's, you know, some Zen Buddhism stuff worked into there. And just the depths of the references. You can sit there and talk about any kind of cool thing, and you can be like, oh, yeah, you know, the pills. And you can be like, yeah, well, you know, there's a little Alice in Wonderland there. But then there's also a little bit the Tree of Knowledge. I mean, you can just, I mean, it's one of those great movies for sitting up at 3 a.m. with at a coffee shop and just, you know, just going through bit by bit. There's just so much. We, you know, as Louis said, we could sit here and talk for days about just all of the little references in there. I also
Until
just
Easter.
want to mention, because it's become a big part of the narrative of this more recently, is that after both of the Wachowskis came out as transgender, people started saying, "Oh, is this kind of a
Indoctrination.
A metaphor, was an allegory.
An allegory.
They
Thank you.
called
An
it an
allegory
allegory
for
for-
transgenderism,
yeah.
and they said, and at least one of them has said, "Yeah, thanks for noticing." And you know, there is stuff about transformation, and you know, you talked about the doubling and the mirrors and all that, and that, you know, have that alternate version of yourself. Also, worth pointing out that there, one of the characters,
Switch.
Switch. Thank you. Was originally
You're welcome.
supposed to be one gender in the real world and one gender in the
Oh, cool.
in
Switch.
the Matrix.
Get it?
And they decided not to do that just because they were afraid they'd be pushing
It was
too many
acceptable.
things at the time.
I would have loved to see that.
I think it would have been great,
But you're
keep in
right.
mind that the Wachowskis at the time had made one movie that, you know, people had seen, and it was an indie film. They had made
A couple of nice Polish brothers making movies.
and they didn't have the kind of clout, and they had been given a lot of trust and money to make this movie. And again, you know, it's like when George Lucas made Star Wars, people thought he was crazy and he was wasting, you know, I think all of $10 or $11 million back at the time. But, you know, they thought it was a big waste of money, and then of course it was this huge, you know, cultural impact. And The Matrix was like that. It was one of these movies where, you know, no one knew what the hell it was going to be. I don't know if anyone remembers the early marketing campaign. I remember there being posters around that just said, "What is The Matrix?" Like, I don't know what the freaking Matrix is.
Too.
There's a
And
whole
then the
website about it.
Yeah, and it was one of these, like, I have no idea what this is. They just were trying to just tease this idea that something weird and new is out, and it delivered, and it was it was exciting. I don't know how many. I haven't seen it. I hadn't seen it recently, but in the linear cable days, I saw this movie many times. Because it's one of those movies that if it comes on cable, you sit down and you watch the rest of the movie.
Every time you see it, you learn more.
There's so much to it, and
Yeah,
it's,
like Shawshank too.
It is a beautiful. Shawshank is a movie that I've seen a lot of times.
Yeah,
and
if it comes on, you sit down. Yeah, if it comes on.
Well, TK,
Yeah.
you said you watched this with your kid. So what's your take on this?
I liked the movie. I thought it was great. I had, like I said, this is only the second time I've ever seen it, so I had forgotten some of it. I was surprised when he started talking about how it was AI, and I was like, "Oh, this is weird," like weird time for this. And then my kiddo fell asleep at the end, so he didn't care for it too much.
All right, well,
You sound like you're talking to us from the Matrix right now.
Maybe I am. Just
All
the
right, so
kitchen.
Junior fell asleep. That's fair. But yeah, well, I don't know. What do you think, as an older adult male and not, seeing it for the first time as a kid?
No, like I said, I thought it was. I thought the movie itself was good for what it was. Right, like I said, the acting was not so great, on really anybody. But that's not what you watch a movie for. That's like, it's like saying the acting in John Wick isn't great. Like, well, yeah, well,
Even
that's not why
Mr.
you watch
Smith?
that. Mm-hmm.
Mr. Smith.
I know.
What, Hugo Weaving is fucking great.
I have a confession to
Fishburne's
make.
great.
Ooh,
I
yes,
did
my
not
son.
watch it for this week, but probably the last time I watched it was a good 10 years ago. But what I did watch recently was Grandma's Boy, which was 8 years later, but it was hilarious. JP, the villain of the story, is wearing Neo's outfit while he's wearing his cigarette.
Oh, yeah.
To the T. I mean,
Cool.
How did he see
But at
me?
that point, it is like, it's funny. It had such a huge cultural impact, but it also like fell off after a while too. It became like the butt of a
They
joke.
on my face.
Mr.
So-
Plow, are you still with us?
Yeah.
What'd you think of tonight's picture show?
It was good.
Picture movies.
Thank you.
so mad.
Thank you. All
I'll
right.
do, Pig.
Wow, were you into
Moving
tech
on.
before or after
I was in
Matrix?
tech before this.
Yeah.
Did you see anything in the movie that you were like, as a computer guy, like, oh, that's spot on, or like, that's ridiculous? Did anything strike you either way?
I mean, it's a movie, so it's always got its unrealistic aspects of it.
Are you
I
talking
couldn't
about this
name one
movie's
in Backdraft,
perfect?
dude, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Is it more or less realistic about computers than Tron?
there
It's
was a
just
there was-
as fantastical.
It
But
is just as
fantastical.
fantastic, you mean?
I heard that there was a couple of scenes in some of the Matrix movies, plural. I can't remember exactly which ones were which, but they used actual hacks with actual, Linux
Terms.
code line, command line.
Well,
They
So
used the word
in-
cipher.
No,
Yeah.
Nmap-
So,
Nmap
what did you
is
take away from this, Mr.
displayed-
Plow?
Oh yeah.
Nmap is displayed when Neo's sitting there typing on the thing. He's running Nmap, which is a port scanning tool.
Yep.
So he's actually doing things like that. So it's, I don't know. I'm just sitting here laughing to myself because you guys, or you, Louis, making me. You're like, oh yeah, Switch. What a coincidence, dude. A Switch in
Yeah,
it's
like a router, but not.
yeah, like
No,
all-
I meant
all
it in the
their
sense that they
names-
wrote this as a transgender character that would literally switch from being a male to a female upon entering the Matrix. And
Yeah,
switch.
Or
I think
vice versa, yeah.
I think you're thinking too much into it.
That's what
like-
the article said on the internet. It's
That
true.
was the
Yeah,
case.
yeah,
It's
okay,
on the
yeah.
internet.
Yeah, but I'm my argument for this is they're all hacker handles, right? And so, it's like nicknames in the military. They're not
Yep.
meant to be complimentary, right?
Neo,
I think it was
Trinity,
intended-
Morpheus.
Well, wait a second. That's like
Tank and Dozer.
saying, "Oh, Maverick is just a code name, and it has nothing to do with representing, his personality." I mean,
Exactly.
Call signs are
They
different than nicknames.
Meaning they named the character being like, yeah, it would be a hacker handle, but it is also if the character in fact switched genders, it would have worked well. I'm just saying that as writers, they would have thought that through. They would have been like, oh yeah, that's the good name for this.
They did.
Otherwise, they could have been like, "Oh, we'll call that character Neo, and we'll call Neo Switch." But it's like, nah.
It was like a marriage
the guy
of
who's changing everything to have the coolest name.
It was the marriage of biblical and technical names. They wanted to put them all together, mash them up.
But it's no zero cool. Just saying.
You know when
Crash
Morpheus was
override.
being interrogated, and oh shit, I fell. Morpheus was being interrogated, and Smith was like, leave us. And when the other agents come in, Smith is like in his face really close, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, if out of context, like he was making out with that dude, and they called him.
No, the
It
agents
showed
were
that-
concerned because the agents
He was
were
acting
signatories
human.
to the Geneva Conventions, and
Oh,
therefore not allowed to torture.
At least they programmed that into the Matrix. That's some
Any final
accountability.
thoughts on the movie, Mr. Plow?
Or initial
Good movie.
thoughts.
Or initial thoughts. Yeah, just some.
Something.
Stuff. It's about computers.
Yeah, stuff.
Yeah.
I just want to be able to hand you a participation trophy and not feel
I
bad.
don't
like you
need a
deserve it.
participation pro.
Well, you're getting one.
Louis
Everybody
needs
is.
to Yeah, that's his
Yeah.
participation. trophy.
Wait, I want one.
If I can jump in also, the Animatrix was mentioned, and for anyone
That
who
was a
hasn't
really
seen
good-
it,
that
it
was
is
really good.
actually a nice little.
It is good. It's good.
Yeah, it was
Fucking
suggested to me.
It's
Brilliant.
like,
Yes.
It's a series, a group of stories told through animation that expand upon the lore. So, for example, it actually shows the the war.
The Machine Uprising. The Second
Machine
Renaissance, Part
Uprising.
1 and 2. It explains how the Matrix came to be, and it's such a great story with such great art.
It
Really good.
introduces
So
actually the character who's important in the sequels is actually introduced in the Animatrix.
Niobe, was it?
No, the kid who
Carl?
There's a
Billy
young
Dee
guy who
Williams.
becomes
Carl.
important through the sequels. He's the one he's the little Neo Stan in the second one, and then in the third one he kind of saves the day with the guns.
Yeah, he does.
And all that, and it shows how he actually was extricated from the Matrix by Neo. And so
Which was
it, again,
also just kind of
expands.
a stand-in for a lot of the how we found people story, right? Like it was
Exactly.
an archetype of it, if you will.
Right, the idea that of how they expanded their community through that. So it had some good. I haven't seen it in 25 years, but it had some good stuff and is worth watching.
I watched it last week because I watched all of them again when Bloody suggested this. Actually, I watched the trilogy twice since Bloody suggested it, including the Animatrix.
Wow.
It all holds up.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not as big a fan.
Watched
of
the
the
Animatrix.
sequels.
If you're a fan.
So you like the
It's
movie,
all the same
Louis?
story, man.
Hey, Dabney and Louis, what do you guys think about the highway fight scene on the second movie?
That's cool. That's
One of the greatest pieces of action cinema of our time.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Of
I
our
mean,
time.
it certainly again kind of raises the game of what these sequences can be. I think that overall in the second one, the action sequences don't feel as a lot of action movies these days, they kind of write the action scenes first and then they build the movie around them.
They get the pieces to the set, if you will.
I kind of feel like they did that with the
literally
second
when they
movie.
make like
I
one
feel
of
like they
the
did that
Tom
with the
Cruise
second.
Mission Impossible movies, they're like, what cool stunts do we want to do? And they come up with
How
all
do
the
we
stunts.
justify him being on
And
the
then he
space
has to
shuttle?
write a script to get
Yeah. How can we fit rock
to join
climbing
up
into
the
this?
dots, right?
If I may rein us in, we are at an hour and a half.
We
at
are,
this
okay.
point, so.
Sorry.
Thank you, Goose.
Yes,
Oh,
it's
is
not my
it
fault.
your bedtime?
My point is just I don't like the sequels as much. I feel like that first one, every scene does matter and is essential and continues both the story and the themes are carried through. And I thought that the sequels had a little more spectacle.
So,
but that's
so
just
there
me.
is
All right.
like rumor, or they were sued because somebody said that they stole the script for the first movie.
Anytime
everybody,
a movie is super
you guys-
successful, somebody comes out of the woodwork and
Yeah,
says
but
they
the
stole it.
fact that that the Matrix was so tight, every scene did lean towards the themes and stuff like that, and then the rest of their catalog is so not that. Is interesting. This
All right, I'm going to give my final thoughts on The Matrix. I love this movie. It's one of my favorite of all times. At first, when I heard Bloody pick The Matrix, I was like, really? And I was like, you know what? That's fucking brilliant. I feel like this is the most fun I've had watching, discussing a movie, even though we've gone long. I can go on and on about the symbolism, the mythology, the metaphors, the religious connotations. That's why I enjoy it the most. But I thought this was fucking great. I highly recommend this movie, all the other movies. And I'm kind of hoping that somebody next season is going to pick, like, the sequel, and we can keep the conversation going. Really, I mean that. I hope we do. I want to talk about Matrix Part 2. Matrix 2, retarded.
Maybe we'll do a special and keep it going. Like, just set aside just for that, so no one has to pick it. We'll just do like a season-ending Matrix-a-thon. But yeah, I like it. And the fact this movie was so solid, and
for subscribers,
I think you have Star Wars, Terminator, Alien, staples of sci-fi, and this was one of them. It was a staple, and I looked it up. It took 9 years for the first MCU movie to come out, so I think Matrix kind of owned that time, that era. Nobody really rose up.
I would agree. Yeah.
So I apologize for being late. I really do.
Do you have a note?
Dude, sorry.
I will get the doctor's note sent to you.
The first 2 letters of note I have.
But fucking brilliant choice, Bloody. Like this, this is really good, man.
Thanks for the suggestion, everyone. Thank you for joining. I love your comments, and I learned a lot. Everyone's input is all around good, and this is a strong little analysis group. And I don't know. Maybe if you give me a second, I might be able to tell who's next. Because I didn't give it away last time.
While you're doing that, I'd like to also offer my closing thoughts, because this is actually a real weirdly personal movie as well for me. Because I was, I was coming up on it, or I was in adulthood at the time this came out, so I was just becoming an adult, and then this movie hit the theaters the following March. Right, like I heard about this from the cafeteria lobby. It was some dude, or one of my friends.
The lunch lady told me. My friend
on the table next to us at the college lunch that I was at, talking about how freaking amazing the movie was, and to not spoil ourselves and just go see the movie. This was one of the first getting involved with the hype kinds of movies I ever really joined with, and the discourse around this, like this kind of conversation, was a focal point for a few of my friendships for a month or two around 1999 when this came out. Right, like this was a special one for me to help build bridges and friendships that had lasted lifetimes, actually. Just because, again, too, it helped us find other geeks who are really wanting to dig into interesting philosophic ideas, if you will, and this was one of the pop culture things that helped us kind of open that door. So, it's become a cliche in the years following, but man, when this came out, it was so culturally impactful, and so, it meant a lot to me as well back in the day. So it was really nice to go back and rewatch this again. In fact, my kid stopped me a minute ago when I mentioned that this is what we were doing. He was like, "Oh yeah, I gotta go rewatch that again." Now that he's almost 19, this is literally where he is at is where I was when I saw this movie. So. Good pick.
Yeah, full circle.
Thank you for letting me pull this closing remark, and Goose out.
All right, yeah. If anyone has something to say, interrupt me. But the next person, ironically, is me, and I am unprepared. So it's gonna be a surprise. I'll let you guys here know probably tomorrow. But streamers, if you're watching and will watch next time, it'll be a surprise. I wish I had some more catchphrases and turnip phrases, but it's time to turn up heat and turnips and heat and dip out. So, thank you for joining and listening, and thanks again, guys. You guys are a good crew to watch movies with. Nothing else though, just movies. Don't call me.